All right, well, let's just get started then. So I guess for announcements, the obvious thing is that KubeCon Europe is this month. It'll take place April 20, I think 17th to 21st in Amsterdam, which is super exciting. And back when all the project pavilion and requests for proposals had come out, I had put Akri as one of them, so we got a spot in the project pavilion and I'll be there at the Akri booth. And Kate, I actually wanted to ask you, the last time you and Edric manned the Akri booth at KubeCon, like, is there anything that I should know or like prepare for? So I was planning on being there and I wanted to set up some kind of like live demo with Akri that people can, walk by and look at. I thought that would be cool. Is there anything else that you think I should do, or if anyone has suggestions?
Yeah, so I guess what the booth looks like is it's usually there's a project pavilion where all of the CNCF projects are. And just to give some background, if people don't know, the reason why we got to have a booth is because we're a CNCF sandbox project. So you can get special access to this project pavilion. And so the booth itself will have like a small monitor, probably looks similar size to like maybe the monitor you're looking at now, but it's like hosted up. So you'll have an HDMI cord that you can plug something into. So yeah, having a demo sounds good. I would definitely keep like Akri in the corner of the demo or something like that. But actually that's not necessary because they'll have Akri above. And they switch the booths midday, I feel like every day. So the name at the top of the booth will just switch. So you'll switch in and out with the same other project. Yeah, and I'm curious, is anyone else here going to KubeCon EU?
Unfortunately, no, I won't be attending. Uh, it, I would have, I would have liked to, but it was too late.
Yeah, no, that would have been great. Is it too late because the tickets are all sold out? Because that was kind of a wild thing that happened very quickly, or
Yeah.
just timing in general.
Timing in general.
Cool. I was just asking because we actually have some extra tickets, so I was like, I could help you out with that. Yeah, no, but that's exciting. We should post in the Slack to see who all's going to be there because if there is someone who knows the project, it'd be cool to, put them on the booth shift or tell them to come help out with that. So I think it's going to be a little tiring if you're there the whole time. So,
Yeah.
but a demo sounds great.
Awesome. And yeah, besides the booth, couple months ago, Audie and I had put in a request for proposal for Kubernetes on Edge Day, having to do with Akri and actually some of the work that Johnson's been doing on secret management with discovery handlers. So we're planning to show like a session and a demo on that at KubeCon as well. And Kate, do you have any talks at KubeCon?
First of all, just to clarify, that's on Kubernetes Edge Day. Y'all got
Yes.
accepted. Okay, super cool. Also, we have a Twitter. We should use that. These are exciting announcements.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I can make sure the people that be have access to that. And we can also put a good announcement also is that Eugen Francisco presented in Barcelona a really cool talk that had Akri in it, and it was really impressive. So that also would be cool to show. It showed some inferencing with Akri on the edge using AKS Edge Essentials. So it was very cool. I am mainly focused on WebAssembly Day, so I'll be giving a talk there about serverless WebAssembly, but doesn't have anything to do with Akri, but feel free to stop by. Yeah, so, but I'll see if I can bop in for the Edge Day. I'm just going to check now and see if they happen to not be at the same time.
Cool. Yeah, I can also post the link to the recording of the WASM IO session in the Slack so everyone can go and watch. It is pretty cool. Okay. So let's just move on then, unless there's anything else about KubeCon people want to talk about.
The only thing I would say is that CFPs are notoriously right after KubeCon, which means we are probably like 6 weeks away from CFPs. So I would just say now is weirdly a good time to start thinking about KubeCon North America for folks. So just a heads up on that.
That's a great point. Cool. So with that being said, I think it would be great to, have a new release before this next KubeCon in Europe. And there are still some pending PRs on our end. So I don't think we can really bug bash right now, but I did start a document, which you can find the link in the HackMD. And I think I just wanted to look at some of the pending PRs today. And I think for the target release date, we could maybe aim for either next Monday, or if not, if that's too soon, we can aim for next Thursday or Friday. If anyone else has any opinions on that, let me know. But I'm just going to share my screen.
I think that's a good idea. I just saw too, Nicholas's one that is very clearly ready to merge. The implement a way to group devices of the same tree. It's been there for a while. I think we are waiting for some end-to-end tests to start working for that one, but which we didn't do anything to fix. So I'm a little confused by that. Looks like they didn't even run. But that one looks like that could be good to merge into end-to-end. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
looked at why they don't run. They don't run because it's only touching the discovery managers, the discovery handlers, and they are not covered by the end-to-end tests.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, which is also a good feature add. We should add an issue for people to write end-to-end tests that include those. I believe, I can't remember their name, but someone was working on kind of creating better demos for UDEV and ONVIF, and those that were containerized fake devices, and those would be a good way to do those. But yeah, okay, that makes sense that we didn't have tests in that case.
But actually on that topic, Johnson and I were looking at his PRs yesterday, and some of them actually don't have any of the tests kicked off, which is kind of concerning. I think it was these ones. So yeah, this one, it only did the security and the DCO, and none of the other checks had gone through, even though I'm pretty sure these should be running at least the basic tests. So I was wondering if you knew anything about why this might be.
I wonder if there's something like GitHub's metering us now, because this is very strange that none of them are running.
And then, is there a way to manually kick it off in the PR by chance?
I don't think so. So what you can do is you can go to the action itself. So what was, go to actions, scroll to the left, put your key, go to show more workflows, choose the very bottom one, test K3S Kubernetes micro-K8s at the bottom. Yeah. And then say run workflow. And you would pick the branch. So you can look up, it was Johnson's, right? See if it comes up if you search it. Yeah, this might not take into account forks. So yeah, maybe not an option there. He probably can run it from his repository, I would expect.
Yeah. So we decided to do that. Just run it on the local fork for now. But
I mean, I think we should probably look into why this isn't
yeah,
working, because doing that for every single pull request isn't necessarily foolproof.
I think there's some just display issues for some of my peers. They aren't listed, but they ran, and you can find the logs in the actions. In fact, even though they don't list when you go to the checks part.
That's a good point. I think that might be what's happening. Which was Johnson's PR that we were looking at?
560 and 560.
560. What's the name of it? Append. I think that was a while ago, right? I think that might be what we're running into.
Should we open an issue for this? Or
Okay, I found something. When you go to check, there's you can select the patch version you look to, and if you take the previous one, you get more. Well, for my PR, I get more entries.
Yeah, which is, I think part of that was it seemed to stop working at this period in time. I'm gonna see if maybe we can rerun all of these checks and see what happens. Hmm. Okay, well, part of me wonders if this has to do with permissions. I'm
yeah,
wondering if it's running for some of ours and not others. Like if we look at my pull request, is it running?
I looked at the last ones from Harrison, and they ran.
yeah.
But Johnson's aren't running.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make sense because Johnson actually has more permissions within the organization than Harrison.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm not sure. So I guess, do we want to keep looking into this now? Or do we want to put someone in charge of looking into it and move forward with the conversation of just where we're at with each PR?
Yeah, let's just, maybe we can table this for now. And if anyone can look into this, or maybe we can open an issue on it, we can do that.
I think if we table it, we should put a name on it. But why don't we table it for the rest of the meeting? And then at the end of the meeting, we can circle back to it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so let's just look at some of the PR. So I think Harrison has kicked off some PRs in preparation for the next release. So I think these two are what those are. This one is a bug on OPCUA server and discovery that we found previously, but I think Martin commented on it. So Harrison, are we waiting to merge this one?
I think Marcus on vacation, so I think we're good to merge if it is approved. Yeah.
We can merge. Okay.
I can do it after a meeting today.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So that should be good. Let's get this one.
And just a heads up, when we do these consecutive merging, we have to remember that patching is a manual process. So, or updating the version is a manual process still. And so you actually can't do the whole / version patch, or it's going to have probably have a merge conflict because of the way it'll conflict with what you just merged in a previous PR. So we'll have to be somewhat strategic about this
Yes.
with the order.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, Harrison, maybe we can wait until after some of these other ones are merged. This one, Nick, do you want to talk about this PR and if we should prioritize having it in the next release?
This fixes the bug we triaged last month, I think. It's the one where if the Cube API is unreachable, it makes the controller just crash and the agent as well. So I looked into that, and in the Cube RS documentation, I found some elements that pointed toward the way we handle the events that wasn't correct. So I made that modification, and it should be okay. As I wasn't able to reproduce the issue, I couldn't test.
Just to clarify, first of all, this looks great. Thanks for updating it. I just took a peek. We were very far behind on bumping our versioning. And then adding that back off call. Curious. So were you able to repro it before the change? No. Okay. And that's how it's been for me. I think when I first added Watcher, thinking it would fix this, I couldn't repro it before or after. So my thought is like, there's no harm in, merging this. And my only thing is like adding the fixes to the issue, I think is accurate, but maybe we just add a comment on the issue saying like, we weren't able to repro it. We think this should work. And maybe calling out to the person who had it just going constantly to see if it helps, maybe just directly reaching out to them in that issue to see if it did the job. But yeah,
Okay,
I'll go ahead.
remove the fixes and just add a reference so they're still linked.
I think it's fine to say fixes because this is what we think is going to fix it. But just even when the issue's closed, I would just ping the people and say, like, let us know if this didn't do the trick, kind of thing. Always nice to get rid of an issue, but
yeah. Oh, and in this PR, I also had to upgrade the version of KubeRS. So just to tell.
So yeah, Kate, do you want to just approve these changes or should we table this?
yeah, I just approved them. My only wondering is we might need to update some other things. But actually, I think you have it all updated. I'm just curious if we need to update the KubeRS version we're using and anything else. But I don't think it should matter. It's self-contained. That's just the Kubernetes client. And anything else would be in its own separate application. So I think we're fine.
So how do we want to go about like merging the PRs because of the version? Actually, like for our side, with Harrison and Johnson's PRs, I think we will like, go through and like do it in order and do the versioning manually for each PR. But I don't want to mess these other ones up. Do we want to just like merge them now or?
I think we can make someone, in my opinion, the best way to do this would be make someone the merger. And I believe every single PR has the let a maintainer push to my PR, and we can just have someone be the, conductor, merges, then pushes to someone's branch with the updated version, merges, pushes someone,
Yeah.
I think that would be the easiest way. We can also like totally create a queue and have a checkbox, and it's just like 2 years when you want to do it. Either one of those could work.
Okay. I'd be happy to help with like conducting the merges. And yeah, we can just coordinate through here and Slack this week, maybe. Does that work?
So just to get clarification, you're thinking approach number 2. So just telling people it's your turn.
Or like I can merge and then like push and then like tell the other person that they need to update it, and then does that work or?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, this one this is the secret management thing. We're working to get a couple more changes in to fix these failing checks. And then I think Audie will review this and we should be able to merge this. This is also a PR for supporting configuration level resources. So this one we will also, I think Johnson will run the checks in his local fork to make sure it's okay since they're not running in this PR. And then we will, have it as the incoming release.
Just a pause on this one. Who's reviewing that?
I think Audie will review this one.
Okay. I can also take a look at that. Is it based off of, because it's based off of the original proposal that I wrote. This is a pretty considerable change. So I think we should make sure it's thoroughly reviewed. So if anyone can review it, I think that's ideal since this is, if it's doing it the way that originally was proposed, it's creating an additional device plugin for every single configuration. So making sure people are on board with that and have looked at it. So, but yeah, this release is going to be absolutely huge. So excited about that, but this is a very big difference and change. So we might also want to think about documentation changes for this.
Yeah.
So that's something we can talk about too.
Yeah. If anyone else can like take some time to review this, that would be great. And then let's see this one. is grouping the UDEV devices. This one, I think it would also be nice to have in this next release. But I don't know if we have time to review it. Kate or anyone else, like, do you guys have time to review this PR?
Yeah, I can look at this one. I'm pretty sure this is going to be good to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty small one, in fact.
Yeah.
And then I think this one also, it fixes something with the UDEV discovery, right? And so I think this would also be nice. Oh, it looks like this one
Yeah,
is
this one's
go.
been important for a while to get this one in.
Okay, so we'll definitely merge this one.
I have a waiting, I have a local patch waiting. I didn't make the PR yet because it's stacking on this one and the previous one on the UDEV discovery handler as well. It touches the same parts. And it's about switching from mounts to device. So it would allows us to, it doesn't do the entire proposal of that is in the issue, that is managing all the permissions and things like that in a user exposed way. So it just, like it is right now with the mounts, it's just hard-coded the current permissions, but it still's better because it's allow for non-privileged containers to access the devices.
Yeah, that sounds great. Maybe we go ahead and merge this one that's been approved, or whichever one was this one that was approved? Yeah. Because I checked right before this meeting and this one is appropriately versioned. And then that frees you up to go ahead and put in the new PR and we can keep our merge train going. If nothing breaks during this merge train, I would love that. This is going to be a lot of fun. Awesome.
I'm gonna merge this one. That's okay then.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I guess with that, Nick, you said you might have like a simple like testing scenario for this PR. Maybe could you talk about that? Because I started a bug bash document, and I would like to be able to like test like some of the UDEV stuff.
Yeah, the simplest way I found to test the grouping of devices is using some kind of this kind of keyboard touchpad things that is seen by UDEV as a group of 5 or 6 dev nodes that are quite easily groupable. So that's the easiest way. In fact, I already that's the setup I use for testing this feature. In fact.
Got it. Yeah, maybe I can also touch base with you to get like any detailed instructions down. So awesome. And yeah, these two go together. They fix 492, which is enabling mounting connectivity information for multiple devices or instances in the pod. So I think it would be really nice to get this in the next release. And yeah, we have the 2 PRs for it. We just need to run the checks in the local fork, and then we can review, Audie can review the code, I think. If anyone else wants to take a look at these, at the code, let us know.
And from as far as I understand, both of these are precursors to configuration level resources, right? Or configuration level resources. Oh, wait, never mind. No, it's not. I was thinking of grouping resources. Okay, that makes sense.
And then there's this. Looks like Audie already approved this. Kate, do we want to merge this into the next release then?
Yeah,
Okay.
this would be nice.
Yeah, will we have to version this now?
Hmm.
So
I guess I'll do that in the background, right?
awesome, perfect. And then yeah, I can merge that then. Cool. And then I think there's this one as well. Looks like this might need some work. Oh, there's some checks in progress right now. Johnson, do you have context on this one? We can wait on this one, but yeah, okay, so that looks like we have a lot of like really cool changes coming in for the next release. So for the bug bash, I started putting together some release notes and I'll be, continuing to update this. And for the scenarios, I think the secret management is a major one that we will want to test. We're still working on putting together a scenario for that, Johnson and I. And then we want to validate the configuration level resource port. So I think we can do something like having 2 servers and then maybe we can do something where we can like do 2 devices connect to a broker or something like that. And then scenario C, I'll edit this work with Nick to edit this, but I think, yeah, we want to test the UW discovery handler and grouping of devices. I think that would be great to test. And then are there any other scenarios that people think that we should include in this bug bash?
I think a documentation walkthrough would be helpful. We have a lot of changes that we've done, and having someone walk the docs and see if it's up to date. We will need to update the docs with regards to the release too. And seeing if we can add more documentation in or more demos in, or simplify any of them, such as the UDEV or ONVIF ones, that would be helpful. And it might also be helpful to have like a FAQs at the end of demos. If someone runs into an error, like point them to the GitHub issue, but that might just be something to table or put up as an issue in the docs.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's definitely add that in. And yeah, is there anything else? And then as for the bug bash, since we won't have time to do it today during our meeting, I was wondering how people would prefer doing it. So I guess option 1 would be we could have like another Zoom meeting sometime, maybe end of this week or next Monday or something like that, where we all just like sit in Zoom together and do the bug bash. Or, I can put the document in the Slack and people can try it together or try it separately, and then they can like write whatever issues they discover and the scenarios they did. So yeah, what would people prefer? Does anyone have a preference?
Well, I usually prefer this to be kind of asynchronous. It's usually quite boring to have just someone trying everything and the other watching, but that's my point of view.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think we can just do it asynchronously. I think that's fine. And then maybe we can just like put a date to like, okay, like let's try to finish bug bashing this release by this day. So cool. Yeah, once this document is like kind of finalized, I will put it in the Slack and I will put that with a date that we want to aim to finish this by.
Is a prerequisite of this having our release train finished?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, hopefully we can do it by the end of this week. We'll see. I'll keep everyone updated on the Slack. Cool. Also, Kate, do you know how to open this up to everyone? Just wasn't sure if everyone can actually edit this document. It's part of the Akri team notes. Let me see if I can share this. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm gonna put the link to this HackMD doc in the chat. Are people able to edit this? Nick, are you able to edit it by chance?
Yes, it looks like I'm able to.
Okay.
Well, in fact, I opened it in edit mode, so I didn't try adding anything, but it should be okay if I'm in edit mode.
Awesome. Let me know if you guys have any problems editing this, and I can give access or whatever's needed.
HackMD is similar to Google Docs in the sense if you go to the share in the upper right corner, right now the permissions are everyone
Okay.
Can read and anyone signed in can read. And I think that's just anyone signed in. You don't need to be a part of Akri.
Cool. Awesome. And then yeah, I think with that, I think maybe next community meeting we can also talk more about adding some new code reviewers and owners. Like once we get some of these PRs in from Nick and Johnson and Harrison, I think we can talk about yeah, who else can like review the code, since I think right now most of the work is like on Kate and Audie to approve these changes, and it's like kind of a lot sometimes. So it would be nice to be able to like split up that work, and we can talk about like go through the criteria for like who meets these, and see who can be added to that.
That sounds good. And I think it might be worth also discussing having emeritus maintainers. That's a term that Helm coined. And if you look at their code owners file, they have some that are established as emeritus. And I think all of our current code owners, except for me, fit that criteria. But I might just reach out to all of them and see like if any of them would like to keep being a code owner and a maintainer, or if they'd prefer to be emeritus status, just so that we can potentially keep that doc up to date. Because right now all of them are being added to every single PR. And I'd imagine every single one of them has an Outlook filter for Akri at this point. Yeah. So we should just see if that's something that they want to come back to. I could see Roa being interested in staying as a maintainer, but just kind of checking in if Yurko wants to be emeritus and Brian. Yeah, so I can put that on myself to do that by next month, I guess. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right.
Currently, I'm trying to go through PRs as well when I find one that I know what it's about. But yeah, I try to put some review events, though I cannot approve.
Yeah, I did see that, and I think that's awesome. It's always good to get like a second eye, so thank you.
Yeah, and on that note, if there's one that's not something that you're familiar with the territory, we could also like pair review something for knowledge sharing. So just let me know.
Cool. I think, yeah, those were all the kind of agenda items that I wanted to go through. Is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss? If not, maybe we can assign someone to look at this GitHub checks not running issue. I just wanted to circle back on that. Yeah, does anyone, because I'm like not really familiar with GitHub Actions, so I don't think I would be the best to look into this, but yeah, maybe Joseph, do you think maybe you could look into this issue for
Yeah,
us?
I've done some stuff with them in other repos, so I can take a look and see what's going on.
Awesome, thank you so much. So yeah, we can work to look into this and yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on the Slack. All right, and then maybe we have a couple issues that we want to triage. Joseph, I'll give you host and you could issue triage.
Sure, I think this should be pretty quick because I don't see any bugs currently in triage. So
Okay. Just
it looks like everything's already been dealt with. Okay, let's see if I can share my screen here. Is it coming through? No?
Not yet.
Let me see, share.
There we go.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so it looks like nothing's in triage right now.
I created an issue recently and I don't see it. Maybe it's not
So we might
in
have to
the...
pull them in.
Recently, as in like while
Yeah.
we were talking, or?
You have to pull them in. So if you go scroll down a little, is there a plus bot? If you go to that, maybe press the three dots.
Yeah.
I've done it from, sorry, let me just do it on my screen so I can see what it looks like. Or if you go to menu on the far right.
Okay, I think I know that's covered up by the Zoom.
The three bars that says menu on the far right there.
3 bars and top right. Yeah, I think it's being covered by my Zoom links. So 1 second.
Oh, interesting.
At.
I'll go ahead and pull them in. I think I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Your view is different than mine, I think. Okay.
Oh, am I like in the wrong link here? I thought this was the traditional one.
So next to menu, if you click out of menu, press X. I have a add cards view that you do not have. So I'm wondering if this is...
Oh, maybe it's just not over far enough. No, that's just that. Yeah, I'm not sure why I don't have...
I'll add them in.
Awesome.
The first one I'm adding in, if you refresh, is very applicable to what we've been talking about today.
Okay. Yeah. So the next release for Akri? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah, that's the one I was just referencing briefly.
Yeah, so I responded to that one. I said we'll have a release sometime this month, hopefully next week. And then, I just linked them to our Slack and meeting notes. So hopefully that will be helpful.
All right. Do we really need to do anything with this, or are we just kind of keeping it alive and we'll just update once we're there?
I think we can move it to in progress. I'm curious, you're not logged in, I think is the main issue.
Why am I not logged in? Okay. 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing so I can log in real quick.
While we're at it, all the ones that say link to one pull request, I'm going to go ahead to move to in progress. Since
Okay, there we go. Should be logged in now. Yeah. This is the release date. Move that to in progress. All right. So it looks like the next one. So we're seeing buff redux is unmaintained. Released over 3 years ago. Oh, so I guess we have a dependency for some unmaintained project inside of Akri. Do we just want to move this to investigate? I'm not sure what this dependency is specifically used for.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
Okay.
Okay, so it comes from Warp, which we're bringing in through our Akri shared. 1 second, I'm writing it down.
I've seen multiple crates from this guy being abandoned recently. So maybe we should check we don't have another one. Because I guess, well, I guess there are multiple of his crates that are being phased out right now. Even though they don't all have, well, I don't find a word, an advisory.
Okay, so I'll probably just move that to investigating. We'll probably make this a larger task to just make sure there's not anything that's unmaintained that we can kind of remove.
Yeah, do you want to add that as a comment to the issue, just so we
Yeah,
keep
sure.
track of Nicholas's comment?
Yep. All right.
So Warp already resolved this on their end 4 days ago. So once they do their next release, if it's compatible, we should just bump our Warp version.
Oh, so it's not that the package, it's just this specific version is having issues. So we just need to.
Sorry, Warp removed dependency entirely. And they changed their use of multi-part, which was using buff redux. So it goes, we use Warp, which uses multi-part, which uses buff redux. They got rid of using multi-part at all, and therefore are not bringing in buff redux. And so on their next release, we'll be able to bump and no longer be using buff redux either.
Okay.
I can write this because I have the issue right here in my clipboard.
Okay, this one I created. I tried to install the validation waybook for Akri, and it's kind of manual to install it. And I looked at how other CID providers do, and they have a job that is triggered on the installation that generates that automatically generates the certificates for the waybook. So maybe we can add something like that to avoid having to manage the certificate manually on the installation of the webbook.
Yeah, that would be nice. There's also within one of the issues that we have is to use CubeRS's webhook instead of ours. So I wonder if CubeRS would remove the need for certificates actually.
No, they're mandatory for Cube authentication.
They might have their own way of kind of simplifying it. Let me see. This is that issue. I don't know. I'd be wondering if these could be tackled together, but they might be completely.
And as I say, at the end, it would maybe allow us to install the webhook by default. That would be a nice addition.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to add to this, or do we just kind of want to move it to investigating for now, or maybe backlog?
I would say backlog, because we know what's going on. Yeah, I think this would be great, especially if we could get it installed by default. I think people are creating configurations by hand instead of using the Helm chart quite a bit and running into issues, and the webhook would be really helpful for that.
Okay. So is it just those three then, or are there any others that need to be added to triage as well? Okay, so it sounds like it was just those three then?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Joseph.
I'll give the host back to you.
All right. So yeah, with the PRs, I will, message people on Slack so that they can bump the version on the PRs. And hopefully we can, get the train going without breaking anything, fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm really excited for this next release and all the KubeCon stuff. So is there anything else that people want to discuss before we hop off?
I just have one question. Are any of the devs using a Mac or a ZSH with their development and can't use the version patching script? I was just wondering. I was probably going to update it to be more universal, but if someone's already done it, that'd be great. Cool. Probably can do it.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, everyone. We'll get this release out and then we can talk again in the next meeting.
All right, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.